Hi, my name's George Plumides, and welcome to Inspiring Charlotte. I'm with my co-host,
Lori Zanino.
And today we're going to talk about lighting.
Yes, lighting.
Oh.
Very important part of design. You know, you've got to have good lighting in your home. So we're going to talk about all the different types of lighting. We're also going to talk about measurements because that's so important.
Huge, because everybody either oversizes or undersizes everything. But
Correct.
To me, the two most important things are, and I've been working with a lighting consultant with a client because we've been trying to get her house right. She has issues with LED bulbs. So that's a whole new thing I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Kelvins for color and lumens for brightness or lighting.
Wow.
So it took me a minute. Because I kept confusing the two, which is, I've been doing this for 100 years, but you do so many different things.
Right.
And it's Kelvins for color. Do you want it warm? Do you want it cool? So it's like, I like to be in the 2,700, no more than 3,000 Kelvins. So it's Kelvins because it's a warmer light. And then once you go past 3,000, it's that blue white kind of daylight. The 5,000
kind of cooler light.
And 5,000 is like that white, like. Not a fan. Looks like you're in a hospital or something. Which is where they use that for because it lights everything up.
Right.
And that's considered daylight, but I think daylight's a little warmer.
Yeah.
What do you like to be lighting wise?
Warm. I like a warmer light, most definitely. And I've been using a lot of the battery operated lights now too. I put up some sconces in my home and didn't want to.
How's the charging time? Do they last? Or?
Yeah, they do. And I don't use them every day. Yeah. If I'm in the living room at night and I just want a little ambient light, click your little remote or twist it in, however it works. But and I would say probably you get maybe a good 15 hours out of it.
That's more
and you may use it 1 hour a day, maybe twice a week or something.
One because we've been getting all those lamps and things in. Oh, but before I forget, lumens lighting is how bright it is. So the higher the number on the lumens, the brighter the bulb or the lamp. Like I've got in my house, I love 60-watt bulbs. But since they're all LEDs, they're more like 3-watt bulbs, but they're about 850 lumens. So it just adds a warm ambient light to the room.
Yeah.
And I like lamps. I'm not big into overhead unless I can't find anything.
Well, and I don't have any overheads except in my kitchen. I've got some can lights in my kitchen.
Yeah.
But I do find like layering lights is really good.
Completely.
So if you do have like a nice chandelier or something, it's good also to have the lower lighting too, just ambient light. Yeah. Mood lighting, of course. It can change the color in the room. It can change the temperature in your room. So
completely. Well, no, we were just talking about in our own store, like in Pineville, we have issues with sometimes the lighting in the store, and we have cans that are warm, and then these larger overheads that are supposed to be like a daylight. And, even we see it. Like, it can turn fabrics green. It can turn them yellow. It can turn them. So we have to go to the windows. Thank God we have big windows we can get with natural light. And it just makes it so much easier. But I think people don't realize in their homes when they're, putting things together, I always tell them, and I know you do too, take your fabric home.
Yes.
Take the rug sample,
take the
fabrics. Because it may look one way in my store, and it's going to look completely different in your home.
With your light. Because there's so many different types of lights, and people have to realize that. So, yes, take it home, look at it in your light, look at it in daylight, look at it at night.
Yeah, well,
different times a day.
I love the blue white, and everything was 5,000 kelvins, and he had lights behind his TV, around his artwork, and I'm like, oh, good Lord.
It's a lot of light.
It's a video game. I'm like, you're too old to have this lighting in your house. It's not cool anymore, dude. Like, dial it back.
Yeah.
So I finally convinced him to take all that stuff down. But lighting really affects your home and the way things look.
No, it really does. And I even like layering like kind of like old classic traditional pieces of lighting with maybe doing a little bit newer like task lighting or something in there too.
I love under counter lighting.
Yeah.
I've used some lighting above cabinets, but I tend to lately, I hate that like empty space above cabinets. So when I'm helping the client with the kitchen, I like the cabinets to go all the way to the ceiling, whether they can reach them or not.
Right.
It's just a cleaner, simpler look. No more soffits, no more open. I don't want people to, people still love to put stuff on top of the open cabinets. Like, keep it clean.
Yeah.
And simple. It does it because nobody's ever going to get there and dust it.
No.
And don't you remember the days when we were growing up, back in the old days for the you youngins, you born after 2000, people will put plants up there, and you go to their house and be like, "There's so much dust in your plants above." But and they would put lighting, And remember lighting was so different then. You would buy those things from Lowe's and Home Depot and plug them in and stick them up there. And it's sad. Old light. I think it's clean. Task lighting is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like kind of a little bit more contemporary approach where you take some like vintage design, different types of lighting, even like mid-century modern lighting, and kind of infuse it in different areas. Maybe a standing lamp, a floor lamp somewhere, or even on a credenza, put some beautiful Tiffany lamps or something like that.
Well, it's like we've talked before in all our design podcasts, but prior to this, it's about layering your home and creating a collected look instead of I just went and bought everything from a showroom and slapped it together at one time.
Right.
And back to the bulbs too that we were talking about. We've started getting rechargeable lighting in the store, which I think is really interesting. We've got some wonderful
technology.
Lamps. Yeah, some wonderful lamps from John Richard and from
Uttermost is the one
that are remote.
And also Visual Comfort has some.
They were light bulb. The ones from John Richard are actually not, the lamps aren't rechargeable, but you take the light bulbs out.
Yeah.
And they come with it. And I thought that was, and you can change the color, the Kelvins. You can change the color from a warm to a cool, which is nice. And that's what's great about a lot of the rechargeable stuff, too, that you can change all that.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about dimensions. This is where people get... And you have a list.
I do.
Because my brain doesn't function
Well,
anymore.
And I was just doing a chandelier for somebody, and I needed to print off the list and do it in my head and try to figure out what size we needed.
So anybody that has a pen and paper, like this is how you figure out what size of chandelier or light for your room.
And I've got pendant, too.
Yeah.
So for a chandelier over a round table, you want to go 1/2 to 3/4 of the diameter.
Yes.
Now, for a rectangular table, you can go 1/2 to 2/3 of that length of that table.
And just because it's rectangular doesn't mean you have to do a linear light.
Right. You can do something.
I don't mind breaking up and doing a round light over a linear table.
Yeah. A lot of people want to do that kind of linear, but I agree.
Yeah,
I think it can break it up.
Well,
maybe do a little bit.
It makes the room look just square and linear instead of adding some shape.
Exactly. And you want that to go about 30 inches to 36 inches above your table or your counter if you're doing any sort of lighting over your island.
There's also another little tiny rule that I found that when you do that, depending on your ceiling height, you can raise it 2 inches for every foot. So if you have a 10-foot ceiling, you can go 36 to 40. Mm-hmm. If you've got an 11-foot ceiling, you go even higher.
Yeah.
But just know that. But you don't want it to get too far because you want it to relate to the table.
Right. And you obviously want to allow for enough headspace, but you do want to be able to have that in your view of sight.
You don't want your table here and chandelier
way up there.
Because you see them in the magazines, like in these old homes, and the chandeliers are way in the air. And I'm like, it just doesn't look like it associates with a table.
Yeah. And you do want to go about 12 inches narrower than your table or your counter on the sides too. Each pendant, so this is for pendant, needs to be 1/3 of the width of your island. So say you have 3, so you're going to go 1/3 each. Just depends on how many you have to how you lay them out. You don't want to go too large with those either. But you don't want to go too small. Yeah. It's going to kind of dwarf.
Well, and it drives me nuts when you go into some of these homes that have been staged, and they are the builder like you'll go in and there'll be like 4 little tiny ones across this giant island. You're like, I'm like, why do we have little tiny light bulbs?
Yeah, why couldn't we done
2 beautiful ones or 3 really elegant? And now there's a trend too to not even do pendants over your island.
Yeah,
I like it. I just think it gives the kitchen a sense of elegance.
Yeah, it does. It looks more finished to me when you've got an island with some pendants over top of it, or some sort of like hanging lighting.
When we talked about this in a podcast, a couple podcasts before, about I think a lot of the stuff you see online too, or other podcasts or design people talk about things for their area. Don't do moldings, add moldings. Don't. I think it depends on your area. I think it depends on the style of home you're in. I think it depends on, pendants may not be a thing for you. Maybe you just want recessed lighting above your island. But to me, it just adds something. It's jewelry.
Does.
To me, it's like jewelry in the home.
Exactly. It just kind of is reflective, too, of your hardware and all of that. It just kind of brings it all together.
Don't be afraid if you can mix metals.
Yes, you can.
I mean, it kills me when people go, I have gold hardware. I can't use a silver light. Well, if it's a natural element, like a true metal, not a faux finished or painted something, I have no issue with metals. Exist in mix in nature. Oh, why can't we mix them? I
love mixing a bronze with a brass or something like that.
Unlacquered brass.
Exactly.
And people also don't realize the difference between stainless steel and nickel.
Yeah.
Stainless steel is a cool finish. Nickel runs warm, and nickel will pick up what's around it too.
Yeah.
So if you've got golds or things, it's easy. A polished nickel or a nickel fixture will read with gold really beautifully.
Yeah. Almost has like a champagne tone to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does.
Yeah. What else?
What were some of your favorite trends at market with lighting?
Well, John Richard, of course. They do amazing. And every time they unveil something new, it's, some different types of glass or different types of materials, stones.
Their use of quartz is just quartz and selenite, I think, if I'm pronouncing it right. Selenite and quartz and crystal.
Agate. They use a lot of agate, too.
Same thing with visual comfort.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think they're at the forefront where John Richard does an elegance like I don't think a lot of people, and it's a modern elegance. It's not a traditional.
No,
so it's really cool, but visual comfort to me does some stunning things. And even Uttermost, especially
Revelation too. Yeah. And to me, those are a little bit more of your mid-century, a little bit more of your little contemporary pieces, but beautiful stuff.
And I do love Curry and Company too.
Yeah.
Like Curry and Company's a fallback for me.
Well, to me, that's Curry and Company is more of like the Charlotte home, the cottage, the beach home, or even just traditional.
And then we've got Chelsea House, which to me is kind of Chelsea House and Wildwood.
Yeah.
All brands we sell, I love. To me, Chelsea House, I still like a little bit of a traditional mixed in. I've got no issue with a chinoiserie lamp or a really beautiful, I don't know, they're doing a lot of the bamboo stuff again.
Yeah.
Which has been hot for a little while. And it's funny, I was talking to a client the other day and we were looking at bamboo. She's got kind of a beachy vibe going on. We don't want it to be too beach, but we're trying to get that vibe. And we looked at bamboo and you can paint them like different colors.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, it's fun to see things that we grew up with come back.
Right. Exactly.
But with a new twist.
Exactly. So let's also talk about the fact that Goods is opening another store in Cornelius up in Lake Norman.
They are?
Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit smaller than our showroom, but it's going to be a design center to kind of service the Lake Norman area.
Which is booming.
Yeah.
Like all of Charlotte is.
I have so many friends that live up there. So, yes. So it's going to be off of exit 28, which is Catawba Avenue.
Yep. I
believe once you get off the exit, you're going to make a left off of the exit. And then it's about a little short of a mile down the road.
Yeah.
You'll take right past the King Center for the Arts, and right near the Harris Teeter there is where the new location will be. So, and that's going to open up very soon. So, please check us out up there, and you can always check us out in Pineville as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us today on lighting. I'm Lori Zanino.
I'm George Plumides.
And please check us out on inspiringsharlotte.com, our website, our magazine, Inspiring.
Anywhere you can find a podcast, we're going to be there.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.